Hey there, everybody! Welcome back to Global Fact Trends, where we dig into fascinating facts and trends shaping our world. But don't worry, we've got your back. In this video, we're exploring 7 awesome tips for running a profitable farm without breaking the bank. We'll be counting down from number 7 to the most important tip, so make sure you stick around till the end. All right, let's get farming. Coming in at number 7, we've got a real game changer, direct-to-consumer sales. Think about it. When you sell your produce directly to your customers, you cut out the middleman, those grocery stores and distributors that take a big chunk of your profits. Farmers markets are a classic way to connect with customers face-to-face. But hey, if setting up shop every week isn't your thing, no worries. You can also try a roadside stand right there on your property. And don't forget about the power of the internet. Online platforms and social media can be your best friends when it comes to reaching a wider audience. You can create an online store, use social media to connect with local customers, or even partner with food delivery services. Turn those juicy strawberries into homemade jam, pickle those cucumbers for a tangy treat, or dry those herbs to create aromatic blends. Direct sales are all about building relationships. When you connect with your customers directly, they get to know the face behind the food, and that builds trust and loyalty. At number 6, we're talking about teamwork making the dream work. Collaborating with your community can be a game changer when it comes to saving money and boosting your farm's success. Joining forces with other farmers in your area can give you access to resources and support that you might not have on your own. One great way to do this is by joining local co-ops or farming groups. These groups often pool their resources together, which means you can share expensive equipment, like tractors or harvesters, instead of shelling out big bucks to buy your own. Co-ops and farming groups are also incredible resources for knowledge sharing. You can learn from experienced farmers in your area, get advice on specific challenges you're facing, and even share tips and tricks that you've picked up along the way. Participate in group purchases for seeds, feed, or other farming necessities. When you buy in bulk with other farmers, you can often negotiate lower prices and save a significant amount of money. Collaboration is all about building a strong network of support within your community. Coming in at number 5 is a topic near and dear to my heart: leveraging technology. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Mark, technology on a farm? Isn't that a bit counterintuitive? But trust me on this one, folks. Technology doesn't have to be expensive or complicated, and it can make a world of difference in boosting your farm's efficiency and profitability. Think about all the amazing things you can do with a smartphone these days. Well, there are tons of affordable apps out there specifically designed for farmers. You can find apps for weather forecasting, pest identification, crop management, and so much more. Drones are becoming increasingly popular in agriculture, and for good reason. These high-flying helpers can provide you with a bird's-eye view of your crops, allowing you to monitor their growth, identify potential problems early on, and even apply fertilizers or pesticides with incredible precision. Embracing technology is all about working smarter, not harder. Sliding into number 4, we're talking about sustainability, baby! It's not just a buzzword, it's a way of life that ensures our planet remains healthy for future generations. Sustainable farming is all about working in harmony with nature, not against it. It's about creating a balance where both the environment and the farmer thrive. It's about finding ways to grow food that are both environmentally friendly and economically viable. This means using methods that protect the ecosystem while also ensuring a good yield. And the best part? Many sustainable practices actually save you money in the long run. By reducing the need for expensive inputs, you can keep more of your hard-earned cash. Let's start with the basics: soil health. Healthy soil is teeming with life and is the cornerstone of any successful farm. Healthy soil is the foundation of a productive farm. It supports plant growth, retains water, and helps to prevent erosion. Instead of relying on expensive chemical fertilizers, why not harness the power of nature's own fertilizer, compost? Composting is a natural way to enrich your soil. Composting is like creating black gold for your farm. It's rich in nutrients and helps to improve soil structure. It's easy to do, it recycles organic waste, and it enriches your soil with essential nutrients. Plus, it reduces the amount of waste going to landfills. And while we're on the topic of soil, let's talk about crop rotation. This practice involves changing the types of crops grown in a particular area each season. Rotating your crops helps to prevent soil depletion, control pests and diseases, and improve overall soil fertility. It's a simple yet effective way to maintain soil health. Here's another pro tip that'll make Mother Nature proud: rainwater harvesting. Collecting rainwater is a sustainable way to manage water resources. Water is a precious resource, and it's not getting any cheaper. By harvesting rainwater, you can ensure a steady supply for your crops. By collecting rainwater from your roof or other surfaces, you can reduce your reliance on municipal water and save money on your water bill. It's a win-win for you and the environment. Sustainable farming isn't just a trend, it's the future of agriculture. Embracing these practices today will ensure a healthier planet and a more prosperous future for all. Coming in strong at number 3 is a tip that's all about ingenuity and resourcefulness. Embrace DIY solutions. Sometimes the best solutions are the ones you create yourself. Whether it's fixing a broken tool or coming up with a new way to water your plants, DIY solutions can be incredibly rewarding. Remember that time I built a giant dartboard out of Nerf blasters? It was a fun project that also taught me a lot about problem solving and creativity. It was all about using creativity and problem solving to create something awesome. And the best part? It didn't cost much at all. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to become a master craftsman overnight, but there are plenty of simple DIY projects you can tackle around the farm to save money and reduce waste. Even small projects can make a big difference. For example, instead of buying expensive compost bins, why not build your own using recycled pallets or old tires? It's a great way to recycle materials and create something useful. You can find tons of easy-to-follow tutorials online, and it's a great way to repurpose materials that might otherwise end up in a landfill. Plus, it's a fun and educational activity. Need fencing for your animals or garden? Don't rush to the store just yet. Get creative with repurposed materials. You'd be surprised at what you can come up with. Old pallets, bamboo poles, or even salvaged wood from construction sites can all be transformed into sturdy and functional fences. It's all about thinking outside the box. And if you're feeling really ambitious, why not try your hand at building your own irrigation system? It's a challenging but rewarding project. You can use recycled PVC pipes, old rain gutters, or even simple drip irrigation systems made from recycled plastic bottles. These systems are not only cost-effective, but also environmentally friendly. It's a great way to conserve water and ensure your plants get the hydration they need. Plus, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment knowing you built it yourself. Learn some basic skills like welding, carpentry, or plumbing. These skills can be incredibly useful on a farm. Having these skills in your back pocket will allow you to handle small repairs and maintenance tasks yourself, saving you money on costly service calls. Plus, you'll gain a sense of independence and self-reliance. Cruising into the number 2 spot, we've got a strategy that's all about maximizing your profits. Choose low-cost, high-value crops. When you're farming on a budget, it's essential to choose crops that give you the most bang for your buck. This means focusing on crops that are relatively inexpensive to grow, but are in high demand among consumers. One category of crops that fits this bill perfectly is microgreens. These tiny, nutrient-packed greens are all the rage these days, and for good reason. They're easy to grow indoors or outdoors. They have a short harvest cycle, and they command premium prices at farmers markets and restaurants. Herbs are another fantastic option for low-cost, high-value crops. They're relatively easy to grow, they don't require a lot of space, and they're always in demand by home cooks and chefs alike. Plus, you can easily dry herbs to extend their shelf life and increase your profit potential. Grow what your local market demands. Do some research, talk to potential customers, and find out what types of produce are in high demand but low supply in your area. And finally, the number 1 tip for running a profitable farm on a budget is, drumroll please, start small, think big. You don't need hundreds of acres and a fleet of tractors to get started with farming. In fact, many successful farmers began with just a small plot of land and a few basic tools. In fact, starting small can be a huge advantage, especially when you're first starting out. It allows you to learn the ropes without the overwhelming pressure of managing a large-scale operation. Think of it like this. When you're building a rocket, you don't just strap a giant engine to it and blast off into space, right? You start with smaller prototypes, you test, you iterate, and you gradually scale up as you gain experience and confidence. You start with smaller prototypes, you test, you iterate, and you gradually scale up as you gain experience and confidence. This approach minimizes risks and maximizes learning opportunities. Starting with a smaller plot of land allows you to minimize your initial investment, reduce your risk, and focus on developing your skills and systems before expanding to a larger scale. This way, you can make mistakes on a smaller scale and learn from them without significant financial loss. Even if you have limited space, you can still grow a surprising amount of food. Urban farming and innovative gardening techniques can turn even the smallest spaces into productive plots. Vertical gardening techniques, raised beds, and even container gardening can all help you maximize your growing space. These methods are perfect for urban environments or areas with limited land availability. And don't forget about the power of niche markets. Specializing in unique or high-demand crops can set you apart from the competition. You don't have to grow everything under the sun to be successful. Focus on a few high-demand crops or livestock species that fit your market and your resources. Focus on a few high-demand crops or livestock species that fit your market and your resources. This targeted approach can lead to higher profitability and more efficient use of your resources. Starting small doesn't mean thinking small. It's about being strategic, efficient, and gradually scaling your operation as you gain experience and profitability. It's about being strategic, efficient, and gradually scaling your operation as you gain experience and profitability. With the right mindset and approach, your small farm can grow into a thriving, sustainable business. So there you have it, folks. 7 awesome tips for running a profitable farm on a budget. Remember, farming is all about working smarter, not harder. Which of these tips are you most excited to try out on your own farm? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any other budget-friendly farming tips, share those too. Let's create a supportive community of savvy farmers. Until next time, happy farming!